How come we had to go to Castle Kashan to get Sunfire if...
All airships run on Sunfire, and they have...
Yeah, if the airship was at a refueling station full of Sunfire, I presume.
Yeah.
Maybe they blew up all the Sunfire at the refueling station. They just have the last of it.
They're hoarding it all.
Unleaded. We needed that premium...
She needs
what is
premium!
It, 93. Yeah, she needs premium, dude!
Or is it like dark matter like in Futurama?
Yeah.
They needed the really condensed.
The entire planet was drilled hollow. Now I'm just imagining fucking Sid on his airship holding his hand above him. I told those jerks that I wanted this sandwich sliced. His whole arm gets cut off.
Oh.
All right, so we already hit the Simpsons quota.
That's right.
All right.
We're getting to it early today.
Getting into it early. Getting right into it.
Have we done the FF8 yet?
No,
we
not
haven't done
yet.
an FF8 quote yet, so...
That's for next season.
You know what I'm not going to get notifications for today? Carl Durham running Dark Souls.
True. It's not happening.
Carl Durham
I think that Carl can run Dark Souls while recording a podcast.
You think? I
probably
think
could.
so, Carl?
I think only one way to find out here. Let me go ahead and boot it up.
Yeah.
By the way, the googly eyes, good choice.
Oh yeah, thank you. Nice.
Looks
I'm glad
very
they
good.
show up. It looks like my mic stand now looks like a Banjo-Kazooie character. I assume. I've never played those games.
You should.
I should.
Looks like a Jiggy.
Yeah. I will also not credit Grant Kirkhope.
He's not.
it.
He's a pretty good guy. Come
Oh
on.
yeah, he seems great. Did you hear about the Mario movie where they had the DK rap and just didn't credit him?
What? Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to just yell into the mic. I'm sorry.
Credit to the Donkey Kong 64 game. That's basically what it said.
Yeah.
Credit
It
to
is
the author.
Very sad following him on Twitter and seeing the trajectory of him being like, I'm really excited about the Mario movie. And then like him going to see it and then like taking a picture of like the end credits that did not credit him and him being like, well, that's a real disappointment and him being really upset about it. Understandably
After watching
so.
the Mario movie, I'm not sure I'd want my name on it either. So
I still got to watch it.
No spoilers.
Anyway.
Dark Souls 2.
Dark Souls 2 is a game that is very similar to Final Fantasy 2.
It is.
Oh, Final Fantasy. That's right. We do a whole podcast about it. I forgot.
We sure do.
Yeah.
Called the Every F and FF Podcast. Wow.
This is probably our best opening. Curtis is like, let's get it going, guys. Come on.
I'm sorry. I'm
No.
all grumpy and sick today.
This is the Every F and FF podcast. Your hosts are Curtis.
Oh, that's me.
Carl.
I'm Carl. I'm not sick today, and I wish Curtis wasn't either.
And Alex.
That's me.
And I'm your guest, Darmock.
Hi, Darmock. How you doing?
The true host, Darmock.
I'm not.
Darmock is our guest interviewer, and she's going to be asking us questions for the next hour and a half.
I am. Oh, I am. I am. Yes. So where do we get started?
First question, why Final Fantasy 2?
Why not Final Fantasy 2?
It's like ripping off a Band-Aid.
Do you want to give us your background with Final Fantasy 2, Darmock? For newer listeners of the show, Darmock has been on, I think, probably most episodes of any guest.
No, I think Corey's got me.
Either you or Corey.
It's Corey.
Well, we're going to change that this season. He's not coming back on. Ever.
What?
No, just kidding.
No.
There's no trains in this one.
There's no
Corey
trains in
needs to
this
talk
one.
about the trains that should have been on this one.
It's true. There's not really much city planning. It's more city destroying.
It would be a lot more fun going back to Altair if there was good infrastructure.
What would these cities look like if you rebuilt them in a more, urban planning and
conscious manner
scope? Yeah.
Yeah.
Fishing for words already, I am. What is my background in FF2? Nothing. I did not play it all before you guys started the pod on it. So until I heard that it might be a thing this
Nice.
season. Yep.
We're sorry.
It's cool. I like that. I'm playing the Pixel remaster. I'm not playing the Famicom. Sorry.
Nice.
Can't-
No,
can't put myself through that.
No, don't. No one should.
I don't know about no one should, but I don't have the time to sink into it. So
Yeah.
Time sync is right.
Time sync is the
is
perfect
the
way to
thing.
describe it.
Even the Pixel remaster has that though, so I'm not missing out on everything.
That's true. That's true.
yeah, so I don't know. I jumped in and I quickly realized I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to pull up an old walkthrough to help me get through it before you guys start putting out your episodes. So, yeah, so I was following like an old walkthrough and trying not to miss stuff and all. And I listened to a recording of what was it, like the story that's like only partially translated on a Tumblr.
Oh,
somewhere.
yeah.
Which I thought was really cool. Actually, I did that before I started the game because I was like, oh, that's...
The novelization. That might be a good way to get into it.
Yeah.
I sometimes think these games that are very, obtuse in some of their storytelling compared to modern games, it might be kind of good to kind of give yourself context.
Yeah. No, it definitely helped. And I've been mostly liking the story so far. There's a couple things I've been like, like something that I think you guys covered the last episode. So, but...
Oh, yeah, what was that? Do you want to speak on that a little?
Was it? There's two things. So I am actually a lot further ahead than where we are right now when this podcast comes out. So yeah, back in Altair, before you go to get your pirate ship, if you go to the princess's room, she's kind of blocking the doorway, and you go to talk to her, and she's just like kind of like hee. And I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you? Your dad's about to die. And then like even after he's dead, she's still there doing the same thing. I'm like, dude, are you out of your freaking mind? What
She's
is
having a
like,
grand old time. She's living her best life.
I'm like, what? You're like crazy with power now because
yeah, she knows that she's queen now.
Like something's
I forgot
up.
about that.
Yeah. So
I didn't see anything wrong with it.
Everything
like,
seems fine and totally normal.
No, yeah. Like, it's totally fine. Don't worry about it. Nothing to see
This
here.
is after we rescued her from the Dreadnought.
After we rescue her from the Dreadnought, yeah. Even after Dad dies. So, and then I don't think the prince says anything different about that specific thing.
I can't remember. There might be some interaction with NPCs that kind of reflect on that a little bit. But I don't remember specifically. And it might also not be until after the events of kind of what we're going through here.
Yeah.
Because last we spoke with, I think, the king before he died, and speaking to Gordon, who is now like the stand-in king, I guess.
Yeah.
They're kind of pointing us to an island to the east called Deist, or where there's a town and a castle there.
Right.
Yeah, we've basically been tasked with going and finding the dragoons, right? They're basically like, oh yeah, the king tells Minwu, excuse me, the king tells Minwu that like, oh, the world is in the most danger it's ever been in. It's time to get the Ultima Tome. So Minwu goes on his quest to like find that, and then he tells us we need the help of the dragoons who live in Deist. And so go to the castle in Dice, find the dragoons, and get them over to our side. Apparently, most of them have been killed, so you'll have to get whoever you can get together to fight against the Empire now.
The Empire has been going around and kind of bragging about how they killed all the wyverns and the dragoons, so that, you know, Deist is fully off of the map, and that's why we were having such a hard time finding a way to get there. Luckily, some well-meaning and jovial pirates took us under their wing, and we became fast friends to make our way over to Deist.
That's
we didn't
right.
have to rough them up at all. Not at all.
So we are in possession of Layla's ship now, and we alluded to this a little bit last episode as well, that we can go to other places in the game first if we want. I think y'all were talking about going like further south and then finding like dungeons and stuff you're not even like technically supposed to be at yet.
The tropical island that was like, oh yeah, an island.
Yeah, I ended up there the first time accidentally. I was like, wait a second, I don't think this is where I'm supposed to be. I said go south, but
in the Pixel remaster, I did get through that entire dungeon and completed it before doing Deist, so that really changed around this experience for me when I did this dungeon at the appropriate time on a much harder version of it.
Well, speaking of a change, though, down here there's a town on one of these other continents, on one of these other islands called Mysidia, which you might recognize from FF4. And there's a spell you can buy there called Change, which is like it swaps out your HP MP for the enemy's HP MP. Which if you get that now, you can go back to the first area in the game where you have really, really low leveled enemies. Use change on like the first enemy in the game, like a leg trap or whatever, and it'll change your MP out to be like however many hundred it was to being like 30, and your MP from however many it was to being like 5. And so you can guarantee HP and MP increases immediately after one change cast from
Is
every,
it called change in yours?
In some of them it's called that. It might be called swap in some of them.
Yeah, because it was called
swap.
I didn't do the swap strat, even though that is very smart. I accidentally did the swap strat by encountering some higher level enemies around that town called, I think they were just called brains, and they just used that on me. So that was a good way to get HP and MP all the way up, because I was able to kill them before they took me down. But that's a really good way to do some kind of like power leveling. There is also, since we just talked about Mysidia, I probably wouldn't have been able to get through the next dungeon as easily as I did without getting another spell that they have there directly under swap. For 20,000 gil, you can get a spell called Holy.
Oh, very nice.
And Holy is a white magic spell that I guess is technically non-elemental, which is going to be helpful in the next dungeon. So I just picked that up on a whim, and I was like, I'll start trying to level this up while I can with Maria, because whatever.
I see.
I don't think I had enough gil, because I did sneak over to Mysidian to see what was up, but yeah, I did not get Holy at that point.
No, I said fuck that shit, and I just went ahead and went to Dice.
Yeah, I know in the Pixel remaster, I like barely used Holy because all of my other spells greatly outclassed it. And I was like, I'm not grinding this shit.
That's kind of how I am with Scourge right now, where I'm like, oh, it looks cool. I want to get it, get it further up.
Yeah.
But like, I already have Fire at level 6. I don't need to worry about that.
But yeah, so we can go to Diced. We have to go to the east. It's an island continent, and there's a castle that's kind of surrounded by like a mountain range that has a little path leading to a cave, and there's like a little lake in front of it. So getting there, you do have to encounter some enemies. I don't think there was anything too major on my way to Diced, but an issue that I ran into was that there's no inn and there's no like shop or anything around that area.
No, there's not.
So if you need to make a run back for like, regrouping and getting your HP back and selling some items that you found, that's a long trip. And a long trip that
Bafsk is the closest place.
You might be right. You're probably right. And I just went all the way back to Altair each time. And I kept accidentally going like a little too far south of Altair and running into like werewolf enemies that I couldn't like kill at all, who would just confuse me and kill my whole party. And I'm like, well, there goes the last 20 minutes of me traveling around.
Oh, no. Yeah, I believe if from the south of the Diced Island, you head directly west, you run like right into Bafsk. It's still a little bit of a trek. Like you still have to walk across some land, but I think you get there like relatively quickly.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yep, sure enough, I'm looking at the map and oh my god, I went so far out of the way.
Well, also I will say it's actually not so bad going well out of the way on the boat, because the enemy encounter rate is much lower on the ship.
Yeah,
it's lower, but there's some stuff that can kick your butt if you're in the wrong waters.
It's true, yeah. Luckily, all these enemies are, for the most part, susceptible to thunder. So Layla, I think, comes pre-equipped with thunder as a spell, which makes sense if she's a pirate, and it's level 2 for her, so you can get a little extra. So between her and Maria, I didn't really have too much of an issue. Another interesting thing that I noticed about the boat, and I'm wondering if this is true of all of the travel means of travel in this game. If you get poisoned and you're moving around on the boat, it doesn't tick away your health. I kept getting poisoned in
really?
flights.
I didn't know that.
I kept forgetting to heal it before I moved on, and then I was like, oh shit, everyone's poisoned. I need to go. I need to fix it. And would just like travel along a while and be like, oh wait, no, I'm totally fine. I just have to clear it before I get off the boat and start walking around.
So it's like opposite of seasickness.
Yeah, exactly. It's like if you're sick, just go on the boat and you'll be fine.
I thought I went south and east to pop up into the north for this part, but I'm not 100% sure now.
It's interesting how the world is laid out because we have pretty much full traversal of the world for the most part now because we have the ship, but it's not as like as good as that because it's like we have to like hop between different ways of traveling because some stuff is like landlocked, so we can't actually get to it just directly from the boat. Some stuff is still like through a river, and there's a lot of enemies all over the place. So we have full capability to go anywhere, but it's not just like all in one.
Right.
Yeah, but we make our way into the castle of Deist. And the first thing that we see when we walk in is just a little boy kind of standing. Well, we see some treasure chests as well that we can't reach, but there's a little boy kind of standing in the entryway. And if we talk to him, he says, "Go away! Don't come any closer." And then in the NES one, he just disappears, and then you follow after him, and he's just blocking a stairwell. A little further along, and he says, "I'm gonna tell my mom," and then he disappears again. I love that. So good.
So yeah, we chase this little kid through the keep, and he eventually does run up to this woman, right? And she tells us that her husband was a dragoon, but he and the others were killed by the Imperials, so there may not be any left. And she says, in the room behind us is the last wyvern. It's trying to tell us something, but I don't speak its tongue. Every dragoon carries a pendant. I've heard one was lost in the cavern the north of here. If you had that pendant, we could speak with the wyvern. Can you go find it? And then we have the ability to like learn the term wyvern as well.
Yeah.
Oh, do we?
Yep, we get that here. I think in the Pixel Remaster, also talking to Gordon gave us the ability to learn Wyvern and Dragoon, or just Wyvern or something, but I didn't see that until Deist when I was... I got worried because I'm like, I just came all the way here, I've been running around a bunch, and did I not learn the term that I need to like know to talk to these people? But luckily they're like, oh, we see that you guys are like good guys, so it's fine.
Yeah.
What happened to me is... I progressed enough where like, yeah, there's a wyvern in the next room. We can't talk to it. And then I realized I got stuck because I talked to the wyvern and there's nothing. Asking any of the words I knew didn't work. And there was no one around to teach me the terms dragoon and wyvern in this building. Like the dialogue had just progressed.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
So I had to go all the way back to Altair just to talk to Gordon and get those words.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no.
To progress. This.
Yeah.
Well, on the bright side, you leveled up a little, right?
Oh, yeah, sure.
If that's the case, can you still... Because I think you just need to get the pendant, right? You don't actually have to talk...
Well, even then, nothing happens. I have to ask, like...
Oh, you have to have the pendant and ask it about the dragoons?
Yeah, you have to use the term dragoon or wyvern on the wyvern.
Oh,
which in some scripts, apparently it's called the sky drake. Or wind drake.
Yeah, in the
cool.
Sometimes they translate it as like "hear to you," which is like the Japanese word for it, which they leave in like Final Fantasy V and stuff like that. So they definitely call it different things.
So yeah, what did I do? It said, so we go in the next room. There's a big in the Pixel Remaster. There's a big yellow dragon, and Furion says, "We seek your aid in destroying the Empire, our common foe. Will you help us?"
Well, yeah, that's not until we get the pendant.
Sorry.
Though.
Just back
yeah,
up.
no. That's
I was gonna say right now
fine.
we go up to it and talk to it, and it just says question mark.
It's funny, we could literally sum up this entire episode by being like, you go to Deist, you talk to the people, you go to the cave, you get the pendant, you come back, you talk to the wyvern, but there's so much much involved in this dungeon that it's like nuts. Like if you try talking to the wyvern now, it'll just say like,
yeah.
Where's Guy when we need him?
He's
exactly.
right
What the
there.
fuck, Guy?
Why can't he talk to him?
I was thinking about that too. I was like, what the fuck good are you?
He only speaks beaver.
Apparently so.
But yeah, we can walk around this castle as well, and there's some pretty decent loot here. You can get a Phoenix Down, which in the NES version,
I love a Phoenix Down.
I think that was the first instance of a Phoenix Down that I found. I think I had to immediately use it on some encounters coming up. There's a stop tome, a cursed tome, and a stun tome. There's a unicorn horn.
I think there was a cottage, right?
There is a cottage, one of the first ones that we see, and that is extremely helpful. And again, in this next dungeon, I had to just use it all over again because we have to dip in and out of this dungeon quite a few times, and there are some really rough encounters in it. So rather than making another run all the way back across the world to Altair, or like Basques or anywhere, I was just like, oh, you know what? I'm just using the cottage. You know, like I'm not going to just hoard this until the end of the game. There's probably a reason that they put it here. There's a unicorn horn, which I wasn't sure what it was, but if you have that in a battle, it can cast like Basuna 16 on all of your party members. Okay, so like
cool.
That could be very helpful. Or it could
Basuna,
Basuna.
The one for the status effects that don't matter. Nice.
Yeah. Gold Needle, eye drops, Sage's Wisdom, which I don't remember if we talked about too much. Saint Spirit as well.
I think we got a Sage's something in the Dreadnought.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, there's 2 items, right, that are kind of like it.
Yeah, there's the Saint Spirit and the Sage's Wisdom, I believe.
That's right.
And basically, the I know that one of them will make like your proficiency with white magic a lot better, and one of them will raise your intelligence to 99 for the duration of one battle.
Sage's Wisdom raises it to 99 for the duration of one battle.
Yeah. I think Saint Spirit just kind of increases the potency of it. So if you're using Cure, it might give you more HP back, or more likely to hit with a white magic spell like Holy, which I was excited to try and test out on the upcoming boss fight, and then hilariously could not test out, which I'll get into.
Gotcha, yeah.
I think we're about to leave the castle and head north.
Yeah, we head out of the castle, and there's like a little path behind it, and we can kind of just follow it into a cave that is where we'll find, one of the dragoons who went missing, who had a pendant, and we do find his corpse, which is just kind of laying. I think it's you just walk in and you stay kind of towards the top of the dungeon area here. There's like a treasure chest right there, which in the NES version has 30 gil in it. And then behind that you go down, and that's where you find the pendant. And then we can just kind of head on back and talk to the Wyvern if we want. I think that's the order that they kind of intend you to do, because if you make your way,
do it if you choose the right path down the cave the first time.
Oops, I did not. I'm pretty sure I did not.
That's basically a dead end. Yeah.
Yeah, it takes you to a dead end, and if you don't know to search the pile of bones, then you won't find the pendant. But which I mean, like, it's a nice touch that, like, oh, even these dragoons are dead. There's really none left.
Yeah. I will say the NES sprite of the dead dragoon is much cooler than the one in the Pixel Remaster. The Pixel Remaster kind of just looks like, I guess it's just like armor, and you can kind of see like bone or something. But I love the sprite for it in the NES version. It's just like a full-on skeleton, like a collapsed skeleton.
Yeah, this one didn't look as decomposed to me, but
yeah, it doesn't. I remember seeing that as I was like walking around the dungeon, and I was like, oh, I don't like, I couldn't even tell like, oh, I need to go there. But yeah, you find the pendant, and then in the Pixel Remaster, I made it all the way down to like the end of this dungeon, because I was like, I'm here, I might as well, explore and see what other loot we can get. And fought the boss in this location, and then got to like the very end, like the terminus point of this dungeon, and I couldn't do anything, and I was like, okay, that's weird.
Oh, so you still have to fight the boss encounter, even if you
the boss is just there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what other encounters here that can go right to hell? The Yellow Soul.
Oh, I'm excited to talk about that. I'm glad you brought that up, because that is the one encounter that I was hoping for anytime I was in this dungeon.
Oh, really? But Carl, please explain.
Do you want to speak on it, of why it's a nightmare? Because I think I had a similar experience in the Pixel Remaster, because I remember seeing these things and being like, oh, fuck. But
well, there's multiple things about the Yellow Soul, but there's one especially bad thing I think about them, and that is that they're pretty fast, so they can get the ambush on you pretty easily, right? Like, they ambush you pretty well. And if you don't have your speed set to 8, like in the game config when you start it, you have to wait a second or two for every enemy attack. Yeah. So let's imagine that you had it on default settings, right? You're like speed 4 or 5. Every single one of the Yellow Souls, and there's like 4, 6, or 8 of them usually, will cast fire on every party member. And so it takes 4 or 5 seconds to show the animation and then how much damage is on each character, and then go to the next one, and then about 3 or 5 seconds. And so you're like,
imagine you run into 5 of those deep, and they're
Yeah,
all
and
doing
so-
it at one turn on the same turn, which I think is how it might be coded. Because anytime one of them used it, they all did. It
They
might
all
have just
used
been
it.
yeah.
so you get like, 30 seconds worth, like a half a minute per soul. And so, you hit 5 or 6 of them. You're looking at 3 or 4 minutes of just being like, well, I guess I'll go make some dinner. I'll go do something
Yeah.
by the time I'm actually allowed to attack. And then they also absorb every elemental magic. So if like,
So you can only do physical attack.
so you only do physical attack. So if Guy or Furion miss, or they are unable to like kill one in one hit, the next turn it comes up, you're looking for another 5 minutes of just sitting there being like, well, I guess they'll all cast fire again.
Now the
And
reason
so
that
that is a slow fucking battle.
the reason that I liked that encounter in particular was because
You were
as
playing
I
it
got
while
to
you're driving, like you're
Yeah.
being Ruby Weapon.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
No,
It's
sorry.
very, very safe. But no. I figured out how to, using RetroArch, fast forward. So I could make it very similar to the Pixel remaster, where anytime that happened, I just hit the hotkey to fast forward and go 3 times speed. And I'm also on. I'm done caring about like seeing each stat as they go up. So I'm on speed 8, which is just like
Yep.
it shows for like a frame and then disappears. So on 3 times speed, it's just like you're done.
Yep.
But the other thing is, I alluded to this earlier, but I picked up Holy, which is non-elemental technically,
Yeah,
since it's
yeah.
white magic. So one of those, even though it's a new spell that I got and it's level 1 for Maria, one of those does around 30 damage, which is all it takes to kill the yellow souls.
They
because
don't
they're
have a
kinda-
lot of HP, luckily.
Yeah, that's the good
Yeah.
thing about them, is they're so hard to hit that it made that really nice. And then I was like, cool, now I can just farm up Holy while dealing with these annoying enemies. And the other reason I liked it is because there's another encounter that you can get into in here that is really fucking difficult at my level, which is 2 hill gigases.
Oh,
Yeah.
those things. I
Yeah.
fled a lot of the time.
I
I did. I was like, I don't
Flea does not work for me
It
on
does
the
not for me
NES
either.
version because
Oh,
I have
no.
not leveled up that stat enough. So it's like if you get into a battle, you die or you win.
Your agility or your speed or whatever, it goes down in this game when you equip armor. We talked about this a little bit
Yeah.
last time. I don't think
Right.
this episode's actually out
Oh.
yet. But when you equip armor, it goes down. And it doesn't increase unless you already have some. So it's very possible, like where I am in the Famicom version, to have speed of 1 and it will never increase. So you will not be able to run from any battle throughout the course
Yep.
of the game. It's
Yep.
so rough.
And I
Rough.
think Layla is pretty agile when you get her.
She's fast.
But even that was not enough to get out of some of these encounters. So I was just like,
Yeah,
I did have to do the save scum Twirling Curtis special strat of bumping into a wall in the hopes that I won't
Yep.
get 2 hill gigases and I will only get 1, and then I have a
Yep.
fighting chance. And I remember I was thinking about this too. I was like, this is where the leveling up thing in Final Fantasy II kind of shows like its weaknesses, because you can be running through these caves and not really leveling up at all, and
Yeah.
it feels like a real time sink of not really gaining too much momentum. But then shortly after going through this this dungeon, I picked up some better weapons and things in chests and better armor and stuff, and it made the Hill Gigas fights go from being like almost just like, oh, I have to reload or like warp out or something, to oh, I can actually do this. So I did actually do some leveling up in this cave, which I could not believe, aside from just trying to get Holy to level up.
The only part of this, the only part of any of this that because obviously, I mean, we talk about this every episode, right? This game is pretty well panned by people world over, and the only real aspect of it that I have any problem with is specifically the stat gain. Even like the way stats shake out due to equipment or due to how you use them or whatever. Those are cool. I think like the complexity is actually quite nice. It's actually like, oh wow, there's a lot of depth to this. I should consider putting a shield on so my evasion can go up, so I can increase that. Like that's neat to me. But the fact that like it won't every battle, or that like sometimes you just don't get HP or whatever, or like you do get HP, but your spirit's only 1, so fuck you, you get 1 HP. Like,
Yeah.
that's so awful. It's so awful.
Yeah,
Every part of this game.
rough.
Yeah, every part of this game except for that is magnificent. It's an improvement from FF1 in every way, save that one way, and that one way is so bad. It's so crippling that it like ruins the experience of the whole game.
I think that this game is very much enhanced by knowing intimately every single mechanic before playing it. A lot of times when you're playing a video game, the joy of it is learning. That's why I love Dark Souls games. You learn by being really fucking bad at them. You learn by dying over and over again and being like, this is impossible, but slowly kind of like understanding what you're doing wrong. And, you know, I learn best by making mistakes. In this game, that's also true, but when you make mistakes, there's no progression. It's just like, oh no, you made the mistake of not knowing about the agility strat earlier on in the game, so now you either have to spend like an hour or two just leveling that up, or you just don't flee from battles. And it's so rough. It's really tough, and I kind of like playing it on NES as like a challenge run sort of like mentality with it. I say that as someone who unapologetically will be using save states for the remainder of the game and always looking at a map, because fuck doing like an actual true challenge run.
Right.
So you mentioned the yellow soul.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's my favorite enemy, green soul, in this one as well.
Oh shit, I don't even know if I saw that.
You didn't?
For the listener, Curtis just, I believe, pretended to smoke a cigarette. Perhaps a vaped pen.
Wait, are there green souls in here?
Yes.
Oh, there is one. Oh, there.
Yes.
Oh, I see. It's a monster.
And it kind of saved
box.
me when I couldn't run from one of the Gigas
Oh, yeah. I think I avoided
no,
that chest because I was like, I don't care about this loot. I need to get the fuck out of here.
I was like, this is kind of cool.
I
just stood there and let it hit me, and wow, I was suddenly up to full health after a little while.
Yeah, because I think those ones just heal you, right?
Yeah, they do just heal you.
It's very cool.
I was very confused. I was like, what's the story behind this? There has to be like some tale, but I don't know. I haven't found anything.
They're hoping that you have the zombie status in Final Fantasy X so that healing is now a problem.
Yes. Yeah,
I think,
there you go.
I think the answer to that question of why it's such a friendly enemy is answered in what it's called in other versions of the game, because it's not always called the green soul. Some games have it listed as the ultimate G soul, and it is truly a G.
I thought you were being serious about like the actual thing that it was called. It was like friend or something.
It is called the Screamer.
And in some versions, it's called the Screamer. But yeah,
Really?
but I prefer to think of it as the G soul. I think that's the canonical one.
Thanks, souls.
Yeah, but I guess we can dip out of the cavern for now, go back to Deist, hit up this wyvern.
Fuck this cavern, I hope we never come back.
Yeah, we never have to come back here. Instead, we can just fly this wyvern to the fucking empire itself and burn it to the fucking ground.
Yep, that's all we gotta do. No
Our
problem.
sickly wyvern will surely help us.
Yeah, we'll get it all patched up.
Well, they got none. That's better than none wyverns that they've got.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. But I think, Alex, you were saying that Furion, once we have the pendant, can talk to the wyvern, right?
Right. But this is where I hit a dead end, because it's like, great, I can talk to the wyvern, and then when you first talk to it, Furion says, "We seek your aid in destroying the Empire, our common foe. Will you help us?" And then the wyvern says, "The Empire's poison already courses through my veins. I will not escape the fate that befell my brood," which is freaking awesome.
Yeah.
But sad.
It's
and then that's where I got stuck. I'm like, oh, I guess.
No, because you didn't have the terms. You didn't have.
I didn't know the word wyvern.
Okay.
Dragoon. I had to and then I went outside, and the child and the mom didn't say anything to me that helped. They just say, "I've heard one of the most chambers of the cavern hold a life spring." And
damn, that's
You gotta talk to the king.
so I had to go back and talk to Gordon.
Or no, wait, the king's dead. Yeah, you gotta talk to Gordon.
Another instance of not the best design, especially because I think from that text, Alex, you're playing the Pixel remaster, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Like that is not that is something that they probably
Egregious.
should have fixed for the Pixel remaster. Much like being like, go north of Finn, when you have a map
Right.
that shows nothing to the north of Finn, but you have to be in the most south you can be on the map.
Yeah, I kept forgetting to learn words, I guess. I was like, oh, that's a keyword. I have to keep an ear out for that later.
Yeah.
And then I actually have to learn it first.
Yeah, it's definitely a cool system for an NES game and an interesting way of handling progression, but definitely,
Auto learning would be nice.
yeah, definitely shows its age. That's why, I mean, and this could be the stepping stone that was needed for other games to kind of pick up on that, where it's like, in certain games, like I'm playing Tears of the Kingdom, like literally everyone else in the world pretty much, and there'll be points where you'll do something, like you'll complete a quest and grab something, and then you'll go talk to the person for the first time who's supposed to give you the quest, and they're like, what? You already have that? Awesome. Like, maybe that wouldn't be the same without this kind of system being the precursor for it. Or maybe it would. Who fucking knows? There's probably games around this time that did it better, but who knows?
It's for the achievement hunters who don't want to like miss a side quest accidentally by accidentally initiating the side quest
Yeah,
and
yeah.
finishing it.
Or accidentally missing a goddamn bird enemy that will disappear.
So then I go back to the wyvern and then say wyvern.
Yeah, yeah. You go up to his sickly little ear and you just say, wyvern.
And then so it's funny that like he waited like who knows how long for me to go all the way back to Altair, learn the word wyvern, come back, and then say wyvern.
Dying, please.
And then he says,
hurry.
I have one last request to make of you. Take this egg to the cavern north of here and submerge it in the life spring. This is the last remaining wyvern egg.
Pops out an egg.
The live stream.
Yes, it's the Birdo egg.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the life spring.
Life stream. If it is not submerged in the life spring soon, it will wither and die. The egg, the last of the wyverns. Take it to the life spring, I beg you.
And then
Yeah.
you know what it says in my game? It says can't hold anymore. And then you have
Yes.
to
That actually says that if you have the pendant and your inventory is full, the same thing happened to me. I went up to the wyvern, and before you even talk to him at all for the first time, it just says can't hold anymore. I'm like, well, I guess I'm fucking chucking this antidote across the fucking room.
Oh, I thought you were saying the wyvern said can't hold anymore, like it was holding this egg in.
No, yeah.
Hold anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, if you ask it about the dragoons, it'll tell you that shortly before the battle with the Empire, a dragoon named Rickard set out to find the ultimate magic. So at least one dragoon got away and has not been killed by the Empire yet.
That we know of.
That we know of.
Or is it the one that we found that was in the
Yeah,
cave
maybe
when we
maybe that
brought
was
back the
Rickard.
pendant?
Yeah, maybe the ultimate magic's in there.
Maybe that's where it is, and we don't have
Maybe-
to go any further.
Maybe the ultimate magic was the friends we made along the way.
Oh, you know.
Aw,
Probably not.
no.
Maybe the ultimate magic was using every single piece of magic and leveling it up to 16. Maybe that was the ultimate magic all along.
Darn, I'm almost
I'm saying
there.
maybe. I'm saying maybe, and we'll put a pin in that for later.
I said maybe.
But yeah, so now we know to go to the
Said
life spring that we may or may.
Yeah, Carl, did you know you have to fight a boss before you get to the life spring?
Nah, it's fine actually.
This is your first time fighting this guy?
Yeah. Luckily, you don't have to refight him. But now I'm just like, oh, cool. Now I have to walk through that entire goddamn dungeon.
Wait, do you
again.
not have to refight him in this? If you
No.
do it
If you
once-
fought the chimera and then killed it, spoilers, we're gonna fight a chimera.
Oh,
It's actually 4 chimera in mine.
Oh yeah,
So-
no, I'll talk
I
about
think
that.
mine was
I'll
4
talk
as
about. I'll talk
well.
about that.
the number of chimera is based on random chance because
Yeah, it
it is
is.
also just a random encounter. Technically,
It's so
it's just like an
sad.
event tile.
Well, that's rude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
So
come on,
with that,
please.
I've been doing the Curtis strat and doing some save scumming, and while I was about to fight this this boss, I was like, I have a great idea. We just got the Saint's Wisdom, we got the Sage's Wisdom. I'm ready to go. Like, this is going to be great. I'm going to test it out. I don't know if I necessarily want to use it here, so I'll save beforehand and I'll test out the differences to see the differences. I'll do my due diligence. And I accidentally encountered the dragon by hitting A to do the save state on my Steam Deck, which initiated the fight, and I did another save state
Oh,
on
no.
top of it. So I save stayed right at the start of the battle, and I was like, oh fuck, I hope I can beat this at all, because I never equipped the saint or sage's like wisdom
Oh, it's actually
to
a character.
Maria to use it, so I literally couldn't test it.
What emulator are you using?
RetroArch.
Do you know about undo save state?
No, I do not, but I do now.
This is the craziest thing that RetroArch has, in my opinion. if you make a save state, you can, in the menu, go to undo save state, and it'll put you like 2 seconds before you made the save state. And it'll undo it.
I wonder if I
and,
could reload it. It'd be nice to kind of test this out again. But
That's kind of what Nintendo does with theirs.
Yeah, it has like a very small rewind feature. So like,
it's rewind
if I accidentally
time.
like walk off a cliff and then save state, I can hit undo. If I do it relatively quickly, it'll put me back up on top of the cliff, and it will give me the old save state that I had in that file as well.
Oh,
so I
that's
can
really
be like,
cool.
oops, and it'll
I wonder
go
if it's
back.
possible to
saved.
do that now that I have gone way past that.
Probably not at this point, but I don't know. I haven't messed around with it.
That would have saved my ass like 20 odd years ago when I was playing Pokemon Sapphire, and I hit the shortcut for what I thought was save state before fighting the legendary, but I accidentally hit the reset and then corrected myself and save state reset. But I never actually made an in-game save, so I literally just reset the game, raced my game while trying to make a save state.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the worst is when I want to hit load state and I hit save state instead. I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure this is
I
the
did
button
that as
for
well.
load state.
I'm always doing that in oh god, what is it? Telemelt.
Yeah.
When I'm playing
Tunamelt.
Telemeld.
Yeah.
Have you played with Telemeld, Alex? It's sick.
What's that?
It is awesome.
Yeah, a Batsley Adams John.
Oh, yeah. I thought that sounded familiar.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Shout out to
I'm
Batsley.
always thinking
Batsley
about
fucking
that.
rules.
I hope Batsley has an excuse to come on sometime.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Find a way. He is awesome.
We should just find out what Batsley wants to talk about and then do a season on that just so we can have Batsley on.
Yeah.
For the
Let's start a podcast with Batsley.
for the listener, Telemelt is a method of playing like 2-player controller passing games using like ROMs on the internet. So you can kind of have like couch controller passing using emulators and ROMs over the internet.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, made by friend of the show, Batsley Adams, who also developed an NES game a couple years back called Super Russian Roulette, where he really wanted to make a game that involved the light gun. He kind of wanted to, that was like a fun project idea for him, but he realized that the limitation with that is you need a CRT TV in order to use a light gun. He's like, so how can I make a light gun that involves not actually shooting the screen? So he made a game that is just it's a drinking game that you play with your NES, and it's a Russian roulette simulator where you play against a sassy cowboy who has, I think, something like 10 minutes or something of audio that
It's
he
crazy
will have
how
a
much
conversation.
audio
Like
he has.
he did some real wizardry to get an NES cartridge. Like it's an actual cartridge that I play on my actual NES. But yeah, to be able to hear that much dialogue on an NES cart, it's really amazing. There's
But you
an
can shoot the
amazing
screen for some things, right?
Yeah, you can
Yes.
shoot. He's got like a teddy bear, I think, that he puts on the screen. You can shoot that, and he gets really pissed at
Or
you.
drink.
You can try to shoot him, but if the chamber's not loaded and he realizes that, he will shoot you, so you lose. It's really cool.
Yeah.
It's worth checking out. It's a lot of fun.
We should make a RPG that uses the light.
That'd be fun. We call it Final Fantasy 2X2.
I see what you've
For no
done there.
reason.
I see what you've done. All right, so we go down.
In the Pixel remaster, we do see the wyvern die. It kind of puts his head down, and very sad. His wings
So
kind of
sad.
get.
Well, he doesn't. If you talk to him again, he perks back up, doesn't he?
Oh
Or is that
yeah,
before?
I think you might be right. No, I think you're right.
Yeah.
I just
He dies
assumed he
off
was dead from the
screen.
screenshot where he looks very sleepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he goes back to sleep when he talks to him. He's like, please, I beg you. We have like the last act
Yeah.
or whatever. He is gone though when he returns.
Yeah,
No,
when
I
he
think
returns.
I think when you
Yeah.
when you do that, yeah.
I mean,
I think you might
R.I.P.
get-
to him, but I'm different. I wouldn't have died.
I know the dying dragon hit me more than any of the dying NPCs in
Yeah.
this game. Maybe
Yep.
and maybe it's the amount of pixels.
I also want to talk about the sprite on the NES version, which is hilarious because the wyvern is literally, it almost looks like if you're playing Pokemon and you look in the like the original Pokemon, like Pokemon Red, and you're looking in your list of Pokemon and it has like the generic sprites next to it. It almost
Oh, has
looks
the body
kind of
type.
like that. It's just like a pale skin color. It sort of has a head that kind of looks like a weird little Charizard, but it is the exact same size as you.
It's so cute.
Yeah.
So we got this egg.
Thematically, this is similar to the rock opera I was in about a year ago, where we had to find, there was I was playing bass and I was leading the band, And the plot was some mystics had to go find the final magical egg of this dragon to save the world.
That's really
End of day.
sick.
Yeah. It's kind of similar, though.
Is there any like
Anyway.
video of that, or was it only like a stage thing?
I think there might be, but I'd have to go look and see if it was posted somewhere.
Yeah, that sounds sick.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
But now we can actually do the dungeon proper, where I think it's got like 5 floors or something. It has an interesting thing where there's a bridge that's leading across to a spot where there's some interesting looking loot, and if you try and go across the bridge collapses and you end up on the floor below. And I think the first time that happened to me, I was like, oh shit, and then I was like, wait, I have warp. This isn't actually a problem.
It's one of the few dungeons that it seems like warp actually works in.
I know.
Yeah.
And I realized how overpowered warp is, because I'm like, okay, well, teleport gets me right to the exit, but it nearly kills Guy. But instead, I can just use warp 5 times in a row for 5 MP, and I get out scot-free, baby.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
So how many steps do we have to walk to make this egg hatch?
Since it's a legendary, it's one of the higher egg groups. If we could only find a Ditto, we would be in real good shape. But
Shoot, I had one, and then I gave it away.
Yeah, we had one in our party for like an hour, and then it left the party again.
Right.
We mentioned it a little bit, but at the eventually we get to the life spring. And in that room, there's an encounter tile with some chimera, whether it's 1 to 4, who knows? And so we've mentioned this a little bit before as well. But if a character dies in battle, they're automatically sent to the back row.
I fucking hate this so much.
I hate it so much because I get into battles
so fucking much.
Yeah, because I get into battles and all my characters in the back row, and I go, oh man, I forgot. And so I got into a battle with 2 Chimera, and I was like, oh no, what have I done? I needed to like die or load a state or whatever. So I just reloaded. I said everything correctly, went back into the battle, and then there was only 1 Chimera, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't know it was like that. I love this. So the battle was
I had
much
no
easier.
idea. I first encountered 3 of them, I think, and then I was like, oh, okay, let me go and equip. I'll try the overpowered magic strat that I want to do. I'll try that first, and I need to equip those items. And then I reloaded, and I realized that I was in the middle of like, you have encountered a chimera dialogue, and I was like, fuck. And then when I loaded back in, I only had 2, and I was like, oh well, that's interesting. And then like I kept rolling with it and tried to get it, and eventually I was just like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna try the 3 chimera attack.
Yeah.
Which was pretty tough.
I had 4. It was before I heard the episode about cheesing. So
Yeah.
How was the fight for you? Do you remember?
it was rough. I got through it. I don't think anybody died, and it might have been because I got lost earlier in the game, so I ended up leveling up. But yeah, it was a little tough.
I think in the Pixel remaster for me, it was so. I must have been so overpowered from going through the entire tropical cave or whatever that I don't even have any recollection. I have a screenshot of Guy saying Chimera coming, and then the next is the next screenshot that I have of Pixel Remaster is the light spring is awash with a soft light, and I was just like, oh, I must have just destroyed the Chimera boss fight and not even thought anything of it. But yeah, it was much tougher on this one. I managed to win with only Maria and Guy still alive.
Yeah.
Oof.
Okay, yeah, I think I probably only had 1 or 2 characters alive at the end of this too.
Yeah, it's a rough fight.
Because like their physical attack goes in, it's like real tough, and like at this point I have Guy with like 2,000 HP, so he's kind of like rolling big numbers, but they can still do like 600 plus damage to him in an attack. Yeah, so like it's very rough, and they have a level 7 magic too.
Yep.
So like, and they can cast that on everybody and do hundreds of damage.
And they'll use that all at the same time as well, and kind of just like bleed you down.
Yeah. So it can be very rough. It very much depends on like how many there are and whether you get like a first strike or not. Which in the NES version, love that you can first strike on the bosses. They can also ambush you, but if you get lucky, you get to have a preemptive attack.
Hell yeah. All right, but I think we're about to offer the life spring an egg in these trying times. But do you guys think that would be a good spot for a break?
Yeah, I think so. Take a little dip in the pool.
Yeah. We
It looks very nice.
we stopped right before grilling last time, and this time we'll stop right before hard boiling this egg.
Yeah, that sounds like a good old time. Well, I'll see you when I get back then.
See ya.
And I will see you all in hell. Well, guys, I got bad news.
Yeah.
The wyvern is dead.
I didn't like that guy anyway.
Alex,
Oh.
when I say the wyvern is dead, you should put in a dramatic sting like the dun dun dun. Yeah, the wyvern's dead. He died off screen when we were.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
All right, we dipped our egg, and we can
dipped that
only
egg.
assume that in
we
the
dipped the egg. Wait, doesn't the egg hatch like right there?
No.
No, it just sink down. Whatever.
Oh, it just sinks
No,
down.
it's just you
Yeah,
just
Birdo.
Curtis, did you even read the prompt that says the egg rests deep at the bottom of the life spring? Because I'm starting to think you didn't.
I guess I
I
did.
got really scared when that came up, and I was like, "Oh shit, is it dead already?"
Yeah, it's like fun.
Unfortunately, the water was boiling, and now we've got a really nice hard-boiled egg.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
You accidentally trip and you break the egg open. You're like, ooh.
Oh no, that's
one
not the
will
life
know
spring.
that
That's the
this has happened.
onsen. Oh no.
Dead wyvern, do not open.
Yeah, the that's what the child says, by the way. And the mother says the last living wyvern is dead, but the egg you placed in the spring remains. Someday it will hatch, and the wyverns will spread its great wings and soar through the skies for the rebels. The wyverns
It'll
can't
be
thank
too
you enough
late
for
by
what you've
then.
done, so allow me to do so in their place. We are so grateful. Because she starts crying.
Boo-hoo.
And yeah, if we go back into the wyvern room, it is just empty now. So
Well, it's a good thing the king's dead. 'cause
feeling like pure shit. I miss him so much. Just want him back.
it's a good thing that the king's dead because he would be so disappointed when we come back without a wyvern and without a dragoon.
Yeah.
Right? Wasn't that one of his last wishes too?
That was
I
his
mean,
last wish. He's like, please go
God.
save the wyverns and the dragoons. And like,
F
ooh.
that one.
My personal last wish for everyone who's playing on the NES version is to unequip all of your items from Layla
Yeah.
for no
indeed.
particular reason. But yeah, we head back to Altair and let them know that we basically did the job that we were supposed to do. We found out that all the dragoons are in fact dead, except maybe there's one somewhere, and there was one wyvern still, and that's dead now. But
We got him.
hope
Yeah, we come back and then the king's still alive, and we're like, all right, we took care of that wyvern
mission
problem for you.
accomplished. Just luckily Hope is an egg resting gently at the bottom of the life spring. So
That's what they say.
now we do get that dialogue about the princess, by the way. If we talk to one of the rebels kind of just walking around, we'll say, "What's happened to the princess? All she does is laugh when I talk to her."
She's in her little stinker era. It's, I'm proud of her. I'm glad.
She's in denial that her dad died. That's all. It's not a big deal.
I like to
I'm
think
not-
she's entering her like villainess arc, Just everybody deserves to at some point in their life.
No, she's just gotten really into like stand-up comedy, so she's been practicing her routine. And it's not good, but you have to laugh at it because you can't heckle the
Yeah.
princess.
She.
That's right.
This is where they get the laugh from, right?
Yeah, this is
laugh?
this is where they established that laughing. If you're feeling sad, just try laughing.
Yeah.
Just like
Exactly.
Ina said. There's a little kid who says, "I caught the princess eating a rat. Honest, I saw it with my own two eyes."
Yeah.
Sure.
Again,
did.
her little
Right.
stinker era, it's fine. Like,
Listen, don't knock it till you try it.
Yeah, princesses should be allowed to eat a rat here and there
Have you
if they
seen
want.
the rats rolling around my city?
Yeah, those things look delicious. Like,
So big. I saw okay. I know this is like nothing to do with the game, but I saw.
We
a
only
fox.
always talk about the game on this
Yeah,
podcast.
no,
I
sorry.
know,
How
I
dare
know.
you?
Absolutely. How dare I? I'm terrible. A fox. I live in Baltimore. Spoiler. And I saw
Baltimore.
a fox using a sidewalk with a huge ass rat about a third of its size in its mouth. Like
Damn.
2 days ago. It was like I was like, hell yes, and what the fuck are you doing here?
Nature is healing.
How delicious did
Yeah.
that rat look on a scale of 1 to 10, though?
Yo, I think I would have had that rat too. If
I'm
it was
telling
me.
I weirdly also have a fox story. I do not live in Baltimore. I live in the suburbs of Philly, and I've been seeing a fox around like the backyard area, which is concerning to me because we have a lot of neighborhood cats. But I saw the fox just out in like broad daylight the other day, like scratching and like rolling around on like the grass and stuff. And then I realized that it does not look well at all. And it looks extremely mangy, and I'm very sad about it. So I called up a local wildlife like rehabilitation center and was like, hey, I'm pretty sure this fox has mange. What do I do about it? And they're like, sorry, unfortunately, there's really nothing we can do. I was like, oh, all right. But I did email another one.
That fox does not look delicious, is what you're telling me.
No. I do hope he has a plump, fresh rat in his future, though. But I did reach out to another wildlife society, and they said that usually that's something that they can kind of combat on their own, and that the only way that they could intervene is if it was like noticeably like really doing poorly, and if there was like a pattern. So I'm keeping my eyes peeled, and if I can get the proper authorities. The first place I reached out to, they were just like, yeah, I mean, you can try treating it yourself. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, let me just go up to this mangy fox and try and treat it for its mange.
Yeah.
Well,
that's
Carl,
kind of
what you could do is get a pendant,
side quest,
and then talk to the fox, and he'll give you a nice fox egg.
I do know someone named Guy, but as far as I know, Guy does not speak to animals, so I don't think that will.
From Flavortown?
That's right.
Yes, that one, Fietti.
But yeah, we head back to Altair, like you're saying. Some of the rebels are mentioning how odd the princess is acting, but now that the king is gone and Minwoo's gone on his quest, she's pretty much in charge of things. So we're gonna go deliver to her the information about the wyvern and the dragoons, right?
Yeah, we can talk to one of the wizards, and he says, I can't help but wonder when the Empire will strike next. It's gotten so bad I can't even sleep at night. And as someone who is a very anxious person, I can relate to that, because many times in the past couple of years, I've been unable to sleep because I've just been so fucking anxious about, everything in the world that's been going on. So I was like, yeah. I relate to you, buddy.
Yeah.
The asshole mage in the throne room, though, who always gives us shit. If we go talk to him now, he says, it's good to see you back safe. And I was like, we won him over. Love this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like him up until now.
Yeah.
So I was happy to see that.
And actually, if we talk to Gordon, he actually mentions, he's like, yeah, Hilda's been acting strange. Will you do me a favor and go talk to her, please? And see if there's anything you can do.
Like, dude, isn't that your job?
I just posted it in the Discord, but does it mean or Gordon look like he has his leg propped up on the arm of the
hell yeah,
chair?
He's getting real comfy in the king's chair. I almost called it the king's chair.
He's just doing a big lounge with his
No,
arm
yes,
resting on his
yes.
knees. Shit, it's
Yo, I'm in charge here now, so screw you all.
he's like a real jarl.
Yeah, dude, he's the Jarl.
Oh yeah.
He is, in fact, looking like a king.
Go speak to the Jarl.
I was definitely having Skyrim vibes before he said that.
But yeah, so we can go talk to
Oh yeah,
Hilda.
this part's actually really fucked up. I forgot
This
about
is
this
the
part.
I love this.
That I took a screenshot back when I was playing it because I was like, just in case I get on the pod at the right time. And I named the file
Yeah.
I full disclosure, didn't get this far in the NES version yet, but I do have all the Pixel Remaster stuff in front of me.
Okay, yeah. I think it's pretty amazing. I talk about how a lot of this game is before its time as far as home console RPGs go or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that there's another home console RPG that gets this ridiculous in a way.
Yeah.
ridiculous
Saucy.
or
I think-
risque.
Yeah.
I think the closest that we have is maybe on the Super Nintendo, Super Mario RPG, where you find something of Princess Peach's under her chair or something, and it's implied that it's her panties.
Yeah. Well, even
that
this
was
isn't
a
even
whole console later.
Yeah.
This isn't even played for jokes though.
No,
you know what
yeah,
I mean?
no,
It's
this
done
isn't
entirely
a-
serious in game. So
Yeah, this is
I
fucked
was
up.
wow. But yeah, so the princess, she says, I need to talk to Furion alone. And so the rest of your party members
There's something I would like to discuss with you. Yeah.
yeah, so the rest,
Maria and the rest of the gang are we'll be waiting outside.
Yeah,
Like,
and at least in the NES version,
okay.
like everybody leaves except for Maria, and she turns around and looks at you, and then turns around again and leaves.
Oh, that's so good.
And I was like,
Mhm.
"Don't judge me, Maria."
Yeah, Maria says here we'll be waiting outside, so I don't know if they kept that in.
Yeah, I don't think I saw that in the NES version, but
Hilda gets into her bed and says, "Come to me, Flavortown," or not Flavortown.
Flavortown.
I forgot I named him Flavortown. No, it says, "Come to me, Furion."
Come to me, Furion.
Okay, well, at least we got the episode title over there.
Yeah, I was like, wait,
Come
this
to me,
game's doing
Flavortown.
that?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was very, very off put.
She has a single. There's no way that they can share that bed.
Yeah, it's true. That's like a twin size mattress. Come on.
You know what?
I mean,
It's annoying, but you can make it work. It's fine.
Look, I've walked behind many a bed in this game. It's really a one-person bed.
Yeah.
I've dated people in dorms.
Yeah, you
that's
make it work.
true.
It's fine.
You just smush your pixels together in just the right way, and then it's like,
Yeah,
geometry. Yeah, okay. I got it.
I like that in the Pixel Remaster, the screen gets hazier. Like it's
Yeah,
like fog,
it's like a
and
pink hueish. Like,
it starts kind of
fog.
gray and then turns to pink, like it's fogging up. It's
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a bit
that
of a
also
video
happens in the
on
NES
the side
version.
of it. Yeah.
hot and bothered. Yeah, so Hilda says, "Come to me, Furion," and Furion's like all flustered, like, "Your Highness." And Hilda's like, "Why are you standing there? I don't enjoy being teased."
Flavortown's like,
And Furion, like a fucking idiot king, is like, he thinks about it for a second where he's like clearly a little bit off put, but then it's like, fuck it. What's the worst that can happen? Let's get in there.
in that situation, you're just like, well, it is
This
the
is-
princess, so I have to obey, I guess. But I really
This
feel
is
uncomfortable
exactly-
about this.
In the NES
is it.
version, he does not just go to the foot of the bed.
Oh my god, really?
Oh.
he get in the whole bed.
Oh.
Like he goes to the foot of the
Okay.
bed, says gulp, and then she says, "Don't keep a lady waiting." And then he
Jesus.
jumps into the bed.
What?
Oh wow!
Yeah, and then she says, "Now you're mine, Furion."
Oh, you know what? I think I remember I saw an interview with Sakaguchi, and I didn't understand what it meant, but it makes sense now. He was really into Pepe Le Pew cartoons when he was developing this game, so he's like, we got to put this horny ass pervert skunk into our game and make him the main character. But yeah, Hilda says, "Now you're mine."
Maybe he's just into
Furion.
feet in the Pixel Remaster, and he just hangs out at the foot.
Yeah,
of the
he's
bed
just a
first.
foot guy. Yeah.
And then we find out the meaning of F around and find out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Furion's just like, what have you done with the princess? And she transforms into a giant monster snake lady.
Yeah.
Which Layla jumps in and says, "Not so fast, ye scurvy snake."
Love that. Love that.
Oh, I guess you should probably keep her equipped for this. I forgot about that.
You know what? You don't have to.
Yeah, this
you don't
this
have to.
fight's
You know what?
Yeah, we're fighting the Lamia Queen. Pretty easy fight, if I remember correctly.
She's kind of boobed in the Pixel Remaster on the
Yeah,
overworld
she
sprite.
is.
Man, what isn't boobed in the Pixel remaster? I was gonna say in the original.
Yeah,
NES
I'm
one.
gonna say that Furion cowered his stout halfway through. He should have kept going, even after he found out that she was a snake lady. Would not have
Yeah.
deterred me.
The way they have
if
it drawn in the-
anything, would have been like, yes.
Oh, good. That means I don't have to sleep with the queen. Woof. Just dodge a whole scandal.
I would have been like, oh, I need to get to sleep with a giant snake. Hell yeah.
The Amino art is
Yeah.
really cool. Also,
It's your side squeeze.
yeah, it looks like the Amino art actually looks very, very one-to-one with the Pixel Remaster one.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Also, she got a knife.
She does have a knife.
She got a dang knife.
Yeah, and the artwork, it is a bloody knife as well.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, she rules. And I love her like droopy kind of viney hair in the Amino art. That's very.
Yeah.
Oh, based on an actual like mythic creature, the Lamia.
Yeah, the Lamia. I think that's like a Romani.
It's like a snake with a woman's face, or Greek.
Oh, is it Greek?
I don't know. I'm
Either way, we will be seeing a lot of it in Final Fantasy as the games go on. Actually, wait,
Yeah.
no, there was one in there's a snake lady in FF1. It's one of the main bosses, one of the fiends.
Lamia in Greek mythology was a child-eating monster, and in later tradition was regarded as a type of night-haunting spirit. And old picture is also a snake lady, but this one has a butt.
Yeah,
Queen.
in Arabic, it's been derived from the word which means shining or radiant. So it's like a Libyan Greek mythology, apparently.
How about that?
Interesting if true.
Well, now she's dead. And now she's dead.
Can I show you this one?
There you go. That's it. Yeah.
Whoa, look at that.
We just for today, we just switched the episode art around on this podcast to being that picture.
Yo,
That
fuck yes.
face.
It's just like a woman's face on what looks like a kind of hooved.
Like a lion,
tiger
but
with scales.
scaled, and also human breasts. Human
And a human
female
doink.
breast.
And it has a doink.
It does
Oh,
have a
it does,
doink as
doesn't
well. You're right.
Is that it? Okay. Well.
A fanged doink.
Yeah, I was trying to
I
tell
like how
what was going
bored
on
this
there.
Lamia looks.
Like,
Just, like,
really?
disinterested.
Do we have to? Okay.
It's a living. Anyway, Lamia's here in Hilda's room.
Oh, I think
I like the battle screen in the Pixel Remaster is the bedroom.
I know. It's a one-off
Yeah.
battle room. I love that.
hell yeah, that's really good.
That's a really nice carpet that the bed's sitting on. It's like a
Really ties the room together.
No,
Or
we
neat.
we did discuss in the first or second episode of the podcast that the rugs in this game are a drastic improvement from FF1. That is,
Yeah,
that
hell
is
yeah.
a point.
I like that this also establishes a kind of relationship between Layla and Firion.
A little bit,
Because,
yeah.
After the battle, our party comes back into the room, and Firion says, "Layla, just how much of that did you see?" And Layla says, "Enough to know you shouldn't be letting your guard down around fetching young ladies, I'd say."
Yeah.
got him.
But yeah, then that raises the question. All right, that was the princess that we rescued from the airship. Where's the actual Princess Hilda?
Yep. And
And how come Sid couldn't tell?
a guard comes in.
I mean,
like,
neither
right
could
as-
we. I can't
Yeah.
blame
Yeah.
Sid.
Yeah.
But as soon as we ask that, one of the rebels comes in. One of the ones with the cool, like, wide brimmed hat.
Yeah, and
runs in
the
and he says-
feather in it. Yeah.
Mhm. He says, "Bad news. A tournament is being held in Palamacia, and Princess Hilda is the prize." So, like, oh no.
How timely to find that out.
Yeah.
You
So
could have told us that 5 minutes ago.
The Emperor was just waiting until we killed the Lamia Queen because he knew he would, and then he's like, "All right, now that that's taken care of."
It's like, I don't want to. Let's just let Furion do it.
yeah.
Mm-hmm,
But yeah, Gordon says Gordon comes in and says, "Let me come. I will rescue Hilda." And Layla's like understanding. She says, "I know how you feel, Prince. I will stay and watch your army." And I was like,
Nice.
does she just get to do that? She's just a pirate that we found. Like, she's like
Someone
a rando
did
who
welcome
owned a
her
boat.
to the resistance. When we were talking, it's like, "Layla, like we welcome you. Welcome to the rebels.
Yeah, but I don't know that puts her in charge of the whole army.
Embraced
though.
with open arms." I think she's a real go-getter and also the best character in the game. So I'm just like, fuck yeah, give her an army.
I mean, she claims to run a tight ship. So
What other
That's
options
true.
do we have
But
if
it's-
Gordon is coming with us? The fucking asshole wizard who's like, "You guys fucking suck." Oh wait, no, you blew up that thing. You're
Where
actually
is
cool.
he?
Like, I'm not gonna fucking trust that guy
Yeah.
with an army.
Oh wait, I was thinking Minwoo when you said that.
No, Minwoo's doing
I know,
important
Minwoo's
Ultima
doing other
related
things.
cool stuff.
Yes.
Him and Ricard are just fucking hanging out in Massidia, and they're gonna rule the fucking school.
That's right.
I just hope Ricard is a cool person, man, because I keep thinking of Picard when we say Ricard.
Captain Jean-Luc Ricard.
He was just enterprise.
But I guess Layla has the most like managerial experience out of all of us. So.
It's true.
I guess I don't know because like obviously like the king's dead, Hilda's not there, Gordon is left. These are all like royalty types.
Minwoo's doing wizard shit.
Yeah, and then like it's like electing a new president out of a bank robber when like the actual president's like, "Oh, I gotta go to another country for a couple days, make this robber the president," which like frankly would probably actually work out better. So I take my objection back.
Who
Yeah, it's like-
better to run
Juan
a country
Guaido
than-
has just been named interim president of Altair, the Altair rebels.
And actually, I was talking about the wizard who has finally like come around to liking us, who's in the throne room or whatever. After we get the mission to go rescue Hilda from the tournament, he actually says, "Oh, you're off to the enemy's lair? Be careful. I know it's never seemed like it, but I've actually always liked you kids." Wow.
A likely story, dude. But you know what? Character growth,
Leave a
I'm here
message
for
and I'll
it.
call you back. Sorry.
But some of the rebels even say, though, they're like, hey, if you're going to go rescue Princess Hilda, the Emperor will be there. This is your chance to assassinate him. And so there's
Oh, yeah.
a couple of the rebels who are like, yo, this is our chance. Like, we can actually use this, like, to our advantage. If he thinks you're dead because, like, the fake princess will have killed you, go there and assassinate him. He won't be expecting it. So, like, we kind of have a twofold mission.
Yeah, I like how one of the female rebels is kind of pondering to herself, and she's like, if the princess is the tournament prize, maybe I should enter. Who am I kidding? I'd be killed. Like, even she's like, I want to get in on this and save the princess, or maybe has romantic feelings for the princess. Who knows?
Maybe.
I like that Leela says, "Go on, get. You don't need B2B worrying about us."
I like that Layla in the Pixel remaster doesn't call Gordon Prince. She calls him Cap'n.
Yeah, that's cute.
Captain Fury.
She also mentions that it's not just her that's going to head up the army. She says, me and me boys will manage your army. She's like, so I run a tight ship, so you don't have to worry about it. Like she's going to take care of it with her ragtag crew of pirates.
So how do we know where to go? How do we know where this Coliseum is?
There is an NPC who says that who says Palamacia is south of Kashan, but there are strong monsters living in the Palamatian desert, and he's not kidding. There's fucking those
my
chimeras
God.
from earlier. They're just random enemies there.
Yep.
Oh yeah, and there's also antlions.
Oh, I hate them, but the
Mhm.
antlions are at very least weak to Blizzard. So
And
get that
land
list.
rays, which aren't as bad, but
That reminds me of a very FF2 experience, Curtis, of running into an enemy encounter when you're deep in a dungeon and being like, fuck it, the time for trial and error is not now. I am looking up its weakness.
Yep.
And then you look up its weakness
Every
and it's
time.
like, no weakness. And you're like,
Yep.
fuck.
yep, if that ain't me. But on our way, like depending on how we want to get to Palamacia, we actually have multiple options now, right? Technically, we can go north from Finn if we want
Yeah.
and get there. I decided to go to Kashan because I knew that there was a chocobo forest nearby.
I was going to say, there's
Mhm.
really
Yeah.
only one option, and it is take the chocobo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's how I went.
Which might lead to potentially missing an enemy that I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, missable enemy note, the antlion and the land ray.
Yeah.
Because there's an event
Lana
that happens
Del
where it causes arbitrarily a bunch of random encounters to not exist anymore. So if you're going
Well,
for
I
that
still-
achievement, you might want to
Walking
check
back from the Coliseum, I still got into plenty of encounters with
that.
them.
Oh yeah, that's a good point as well.
but
So
yeah,
since I took Layla's boat back to Altair to report back, I just took the boat basically kind of around that little basically because there's like an inner sea in the middle of the map. I kind of took it around that little there's like a peninsula and then just park right there because I know there's that continent that leads.
yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's also like north from where the dreadnought was.
You know, I did not take the boat at all. I actually went back to Paloom and took the little ship to Poft, and Sid is there, and
Yeah,
he is
he'll
renting
fly
back
ya.
out his airship
Oh, that's
again.
good.
So
Oh,
he's
yeah.
back in business, baby. And I just said, yeah, just take me to Kashan. It's fine.
So when you mentioned missable
Like a
enemies,
killer.
apparently you need to make sure you run into the killerfish, sea snake, buccaneer, and helldiver. I'm reading off of a website.
Yeah,
Oh,
there is a cool
Before-
guide on rpgsite.net that will break it all down for you.
I don't remember about Palamacia and how it works, but once we actually are in the vicinity of the Colosseum and Palamacia, there's the Colosseum is a sprite on the overworld that we can walk into and enter.
Mhm.
And behind it, there is a giant castle. Is that Palamacia Castle?
I believe
Probably.
so, yeah.
I can't remember if that's it or not. We don't get to access it in any way. There's no entrance into it. There's no cave or anything that takes you there.
Yeah, we're not able
But,
to access it at this point. It is well naturally guarded.
Yeah, yeah. And so all we can
For
do is
now.
enter that Coliseum, which, like, luckily, I mean, I love any floor of a dungeon that doesn't have encounters. And floor 1 of the Coliseum, no encounters. Love that.
Love to see it.
Well, save one encounter, I suppose.
Yeah, there is one notable encounter, I would say.
But we see the Emperor for the first time. Yeah, Mateus is here. Oh my gosh, the man himself.
Mateus.
Yeah, I think
Is that his name?
in the Pixel remaster, he's still not named yet.
He's
Just
not. He's not in
Emperor.
this either.
Yeah. No,
Ugh.
I didn't realize that was his name.
I was very impressed by the sprite of the environment here because like it's very colorful compared to other places we've been. Because we walk up to the Coliseum in the Pixel Remaster and these big like red crests on the sides of each on the walls surrounding the Coliseum and stuff.
Yeah.
And another pretty carpet, rug, whatever it is.
Yeah, and even
The Emperor's got a cool rug with a phoenix on it.
And that chair looks pretty nice too.
it's like
Thrown-
a half
I don't know.
half throne, half fainting couch, it looks like.
Yeah.
I guess most fainting couch, but
It looks like the round booths at like the diners, except he's sitting on the table.
Oh, I love those round booths.
yeah.
One of the first bands I was in, like we would always try to get like the round booth at like this local diner.
You'd
like
all
it was our
shuffle in
favorite
on the
spot.
side.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
If you're in the
Little
middle
scoot.
though and you have to piss, that's always a nightmare.
Either hop over or
Crawl under the table.
crawl under everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gross.
But yeah, so we take our opportunity to strike and we run up to the Emperor. But before we're able to actually get to him, a gate pops up in front of us. And the Emperor says, "Now fight! The victor wins Princess Hilda." And we walk back into the center of the room just prior, which now looks suspiciously like a gladiatorial arena. When I look at it, I'm like, oh, wait. And
now the lack of encounters are starting to fuck me up. Like
yeah. And then from like a side room, there's like a little hole, like a little gap. And a behemoth comes out of it, which is the first encounter with a behemoth in Final
In the
Fantasy.
franchise.
That is
yeah.
such cool artwork too.
Oh, it's so good. It's so
at least
good.
Yeah.
in the Pixel Remastered.
Pixel
but-
Remastered has it real big on
The
the
Yeah.
NES version looks fantastic as well. It's actually something I was thinking about. I was like, damn, this is fucking awesome. It looks really cool. It's very huge on screen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's probably, I would say it looks scarier on the Famicom. It's like teeth are red.
It's
Ooh.
awesome. It's so cool.
It's really cool looking.
Oh yeah, the it's been through some kind of different iterations. Yeah, like the Pixel Remaster is very kind of true to the NES version, but the PlayStation and GBA version are kind of weird, really wonky looking,
Yeah.
real
yeah.
zany.
Now, I would like to take this opportunity to give a shout out to a real homie, a real gangster in Final Fantasy II. And that is the sleep sword that we got, I believe, in the
Oh,
last
yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
Because so sleep in this game can be removed through physical attacks. Like in most games, you put a character to sleep, you hit them with a physical, they wake up, right? But Furion moves either very quickly or very slowly, and either one of them is great. Because if he goes very fast and he hits Behemoth before Behemoth gets to move, I should say I had the sleep sword on Furion, so that's what I'm basing this on. He would put Behemoth asleep, and so even if another physical attack woke him up, it would already cancel his move for that turn. And then if Behemoth is asleep at the end of a turn, say Furion goes last and puts him asleep, it cancels out Behemoth's input for the next turn, guaranteed. So you have like an
Nice.
80% chance, like plus, of Behemoth just never getting to move like the entire fight. Which if you don't have the sleep sword and he can move, he's pretty strong, but he doesn't do like multiple hits very well. So he'll
Yeah,
hit you like once or twice for a decent amount of damage, but not a ton.
And it
Yeah.
kind of just becomes an HP management thing. You know, it's 4 against 1. So, I mean, we
Yeah.
lost the best character, Layla, but Gordon maybe has some levels on us.
Yeah, I don't know this. Is there something in Final Fantasy II that determines who the enemies are going to attack? Because I feel like they always pick the same ones.
I think
which for me is Gordon. I can
is-
guarantee that they are going to fight Gordon every time.
If you
first.
put someone
Gordon.
in the back row, it makes them less likely to get hit, at least with physical attacks and stuff. So I know that I know very little about it. I should look into it more for next week. But I know that like if you want to guarantee to try and get the agility up for Furion, you just, he's at the top of the party. So agility kind of comes in clutch with that. In some ways, I forget the specifics, but you just kind of put like a shield on him and have everyone else on the back row. So then he will more than likely be the one that gets targeted.
Well, I was thinking about it, and like what I did for the entirety of this dungeon and this boss fight, and the dungeons before even, is I've kept my fourth party member usually, but especially Gordon for some reason, at just low HP. I just leave him. I just don't even cure him. I just cast life on him because he was the first one attacked in every turn of this battle and every turn of every upcoming fight. He was always the first one attacked, and I have 3 people up front, so like. I was like, what is it about Gordon that makes the enemies want to attack him? It's too many times just to
He's
be
got
random.
such a punchable face.
Yeah, he must. So I was wondering, like, what maybe like if there's a stat that deals with aggro, but I don't
had
know.
him defending a lot, but I was also trying to level up Maria's magic a lot.
Yeah.
Sometimes, so everybody was defending. I know. Only Pixel Remaster.
Play the Famicom version, like a real gamer.
The closest you
We
can
never
I'm not a
defended.
real gamer. I'm a poser.
No, being a poser is the way. No one should really put
No one
themselves
should
through
play
the,
fucking F2.
the closest thing you have to defend is putting someone in the back row before a battle and then having them try to attack themselves because they cannot attack themselves because they can't attack something on the back row. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a game.
yeah.
What
But
a game indeed.
Anyway, we take out the behemoth. And
I tried blinding it because that's how you fight them in FF10, but it didn't work.
Much like all the magic in this game, it did not work.
Yeah.
Actually,
So-
that brings me to another point in the last dungeon. There is a mithril mirror that we can get, which is I actually like went out of my way to get this because it sounds like it's really worthwhile. I think it might have been blocked by like a mandatory encounter with like a hill gigas because I kept getting it on the same tile even after getting the chest. But I'll just read here from Gamer Corner Guides, which says, it's entirely possible you'll only ever see one mithril mirror, but it's a doozy of an item. Wall is a spell of questionable use since you have to level it quite a bit before it does anything, but an item that casts Wall 16 is always good. This will make the user, not the full party, invulnerable to black magic of any level, basically shutting down an opponent's casting. You can only use it once, though, so use it wisely. There is like a lot of stuff with Wall in this game. Like there is a bug that it affects only monsters. It doesn't really work for you, where it let's see, you won't be able to, you won't be any more, I think it makes people more vulnerable to the death spells if you use Wall. But there's a lot of really weirdness with it. But basically you have to level up Wall to a point of basically like level 8, and then the likelihood that it's going to have to actually prevent you from getting hit is a roll. So if someone uses like a level 8 spell, it rolls 8 times with Wall to see if you'll miss. So you're still likely to get hit by some of it.
Okay, I see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm reading about it right now about Wall and like why you need to level it up.
So if you have Wall 16, great, but that sounds like a nightmare to level up. Like at that point, it's probably not even worth doing.
Yeah, it says here that no enemy in the entire game casts below level 4. So until Wall's level 4, it does nothing, literally nothing, because no enemy ever casts below level 4.
So could be worth it if you dump the time into it, but why would you?
Yeah. But so after we beat the behemoth, the Emperor says, "You may now claim your reward." And a little screen pops up. No one says it. It's just like narration. And it says, "This is your chance to slay the Emperor."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love how it's just like kind of in parentheses.
Yeah, it's very cool. I was just like, oh shit, I'm going to do it. So we walk up to him. And when you press the A button on him to talk to him or kill him or whatever. He says, "What a show, Furion. Are you surprised that I knew your name?" And then he disappears, and like 4 guards appear, right, including the Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight, that motherfucker.
They arrest you.
Got him.
Yeah. So now we're in a classic RPG prison escape scene, a classic Final Fantasy prison escape.
In a sewer, I think, right?
Yeah, it looks like we're
Sort of.
underneath, presumably the Colosseum, and there's a nice little like waterway and stuff. We're in a cell.
Now you're face down on the floor.
Poop way. Sorry.
Yeah, Fion's just face down in the cell.
Sturdy iron gate blocks in or whatever.
It's a green door. We can open these.
Yeah, no problem. We've done that in the past.
Yeah, there is a soldier kind of guarding it there, and then we see a familiar face kind of come strolling in.
I couldn't remember how we get out of here, and so when I saw who breaks us out, I was like, "Oh my god, he's back!" I was wondering if he did anything in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We see Paul, who says lights out to the guard and then knocks him out, I guess. The guard disappears and then says, "This is for rescuing me from the mines. I pay my debts." Yeah, and he lets us out.
So Paul the thief or ninja or whatever he is, he rescues us. So, because like,
Do you think his haircut is based on the Beetle Paul? Or you think it's
Oh yeah, it could
just a
be.
medieval thing?
Paul.
I was thinking it was kind of like a monk thing, but I think you might be right.
I like that in the very first time we're in Altair, like at the very beginning of the game, we see Paul and he's just like, "I'm an expert thief," and then that's all he says. And then when we rescue him, I guess from
The Mithril Mines.
yeah, Simmet Falls, he doesn't even like say anything. He's just kind of there. He's like, "Yeah, I came in here to break everybody out, but I got caught. Oh well." And you let him out, and I was like, what a weird character arc. That's all he gets. But he
Yeah.
gets one more. He breaks us out of prison. What a king!
I think there is something a little later with him as well in his house,
maybe.
if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I suspected.
I think so.
Well, I had some investigating. I did.
No, he's actually
we shall
the Dark
see.
Knight.
Yeah.
But yeah, he busts us out.
Yeah. So
He busts on us. So yeah, we're free to wander around the Colosseum.
Paul has left.
Paul is left. Yeah.
He doesn't want to become that magical 5th member.
He doesn't want to rescue the
yeah,
princess.
Not for 2 more games.
Doesn't, yeah.
You think the old scoundrel like a Han Solo type would want to
Right.
rescue the princess?
Nah, he's all about the love of the game, and the game is thieving.
He's burgling.
So this dungeon's pretty short. It's only like 2 floors, not including the first floor where we actually fought the behemoth at. But there are a lot of doors on the first floor. It's another one with like a lot of trap rooms. But one of them is not a trap room. Like, interestingly, there is a room that just has like 3 treasure chests in it that we can get.
Oh, yeah.
And we can get
Yeah.
some pretty good swag down here, as far as I'm concerned, because there's like ethers and elixirs and stuff like that, which
Yeah, that stuff's very good.
this stuff's very
I think
good. And
another cottage as well,
Another
right?
cottage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, those are expensive, but at this point in the game, we should start racking up money. Like, I think at this point I had like $80,000 or $800,000, something ridiculous, where I was just like, oh, I can just go buy ethers now. Like, it's not even a
Yeah.
big deal.
Before getting into Diced, I had 50,000 after buying Holy, which is 20,000. So we're pretty
Yeah.
set on money.
Yeah, so
Especially
we're pretty
because
good
like
now,
in the
but-
NES one, you really don't like, you get a lot of tomes that are pretty high value, and your options are either burn a very valuable spot in your inventory in the
Yep,
off chance that you might remember to equip that and then use it in a certain situation, or just sell it because you're never going to use it.
Yeah. I've been doing a very dumb thing of just loading Guy up with spells that I already have one of. So like, if I like see it, I'm just like, well,
Guy just gets all the trash spells.
yeah. I'm just like, I don't want to throw it away, but I'll just give it to Guy.
I mean, I added like Cure, I think Life, and a couple
Life.
of Black Magic spells. to
I'm
him.
rolling deep with 3 life spells on each. So
That's my next. Like, when I turn the game on next, the thing I've realized that like, why haven't I done this, is buy 2 more life tomes to give
Yeah.
to my other party members, because like, it only costs 1 to cast it.
And there's always going to be a battle where you're like, you don't really know who's going to be the last person standing. Because
Yeah.
sometimes an enemy's like just wailing on you, like the brains were getting me earlier.
Well, in
Yeah.
this dungeon, what are those skeletons called in this dungeon? You know, there's like the zombie soldiers and
Revenants?
everyone. Say what?
Oh yeah, the revenants. Those are rough. They were
Yeah.
in the last dungeon as well, and they look
Are they
like
in
the
this one
zombies.
too?
So you think
They
you can
are
get
in
one
this
on
one.
them, but even using like Maria's got like fire +7, and like she still has to hit them like twice sometimes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
They have the cannons on their shoulders, like in Doom.
I'm trying to remember if any of these revenants inflicted darkness on my characters.
They
I can't remember.
definitely
Yeah, that's the
do.
other thing too. They always do darkness, which sucks. Darkness
I
or
thought
like
it was
some
only,
some of
like,
the
a particular palette like did it, like the purpler ones. Or
yeah,
something.
I think some of them also inflict like hold or paralysis on you.
Yeah, they're
paralysis
assholes.
Gets me. Yeah, they're jerks.
They also have a lot of attack, and if they are like I said, they always went for Gordon first for some reason. But even after Gordon, like if Gordon went down in 1 and they got all of their attacks off, they could just kill Furion in a single. Like it would just be like if I got ambushed by them, it was basically like I needed to load state, because if I was ambushed, Gordon and Furion would be dead before I got a turn. So like they're kind of tough as far as their attack goes.
The wizards, I think, also inflicted some sort of, it was either darkness or paralysis in this dungeon. It might have been paralysis.
No, wait, not the Revenant, The Spectre. The Spectre is the one I'm thinking of. The Revenant is just the
I'm
zombie.
sorry.
The Spectre is the
Yeah.
yeah.
The one with the flowy. Yeah.
Yeah, the one that looks like a
cape.
soldier.
Sorry.
Yeah, because its normal
Yeah.
physical attack also has drain on top of it.
Yeah, yeah,
and it can
those ones are
petrify
rough.
you. It can cast sleep on you. It can cast Blizzard 8 on everybody.
Yeah,
Ugh.
that's fun.
that's
That was
extremely
fun.
scary.
Yeah, those guys suck. That's the enemy that I don't like.
Especially
right there.
like petrify, because if you don't have a gold needle, which I think I've only found one so far in the game in the
same.
NES version, you know, I hopefully you have a Asuna leveled up enough.
Yeah,
This is
it's
why I
rough.
didn't have as much gil as y'all at this point, is because I like loaded up on gold needles.
Yeah,
loaded
that's
up on all
smart.
these
It-
like supplies, and I was like, why don't I have any gil?
That's I
Like,
think that's another nice quality of life change in Pixel Remaster as well. Is I think gold needles are they're still expensive, but they're not nearly as
Yeah.
expensive as they are in the NES
Yeah.
version.
There's also such like a trade-off, because like I don't want to buy stat items for a dungeon in the Famicom version, knowing that I have like 5 item slots total to play around with.
because
you know?
every time you get a key item, that is one less maximum inventory slot that you have.
Yeah. So like
So I
right
was like,
now,
oh god, I got a wyvern egg, and then I'm like, thank god I can just dip this thing immediately and not have it like take up precious
Yeah.
space.
like if I can include all my key items, and then I include like 2 high potions and a phoenix down, right? And like just with that, there's not enough to have one of every stat item. Like you have to
Yeah.
like really choose.
That's why
So,
I pretty much just focused on leveling up Asuna and Cure and everything. Like I have Cure
Yeah.
on multiple people and using life and stuff, because I'm just like, nope, it's all magic. Like if I don't
That's
have
why-
MP, I can't beat the dungeon, so I have
Yeah.
to leave.
That's why I focus on the strategy of save states and just getting different RNG in different battles.
Exactly.
I just go, oh, they cast Petrify? Well, I'll just reload and do it again until they don't.
Nice, but we can make our way to the cell that Princess Hilda is in, and
Yes,
we can open it up. And Furion says, "Princess Hilda, hold
it's
on."
another Lamia queen.
Yeah,
it's
another
a
one.
second Lamia queen.
Yeah, it would bust in and Hilda's like, Furion, come here. And like, oh, Gordon's right here.
But yeah, Furion says like, "Oh, we're coming to get you out of there." And Gordon runs ahead and asks if Hilda is all right. And she's like, "Oh, Gordon, I never thought I'd see you here." It's like, yeah, like he's overcome his cowardice.
I love it. He has like a whole character arc. It's how
Yeah,
how
it's really
nice.
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 It's really nice.
It's very cute.
But Furion's like, all right, Gordon, like you take the princess and go. We'll draw the guards' attention, and you guys can escape. Yeah, then we can finally make our way out.
Do any of you watch on YouTube the guy Crontendo? You all watched him?
No,
No.
I've not heard of him.
Oh, cannot recommend. Listeners, go check out Crontendo. Cannot recommend him more. He's a very dry, humored dude, probably in his like 50s or something. He talks about every Famicom game in order, Japanese and American, right? And European, if there's the odd occasional one that came out there. But he talks about them all in order. And last night I watched the one he did with Final Fantasy 2 in it. Because I was like, oh, it would be neat to have somebody else's insight who's done their research on Final Fantasy II to see what they say, especially because he has like the knowledge of other game systems and what's happening at the time, who's releasing what. And the RPG, the kind of like big, I would call it the big box RPG, I guess, that's kind of out right now at this time, is Phantasy Star 2. And he has an interesting insight into it, I think, that where he's like, yeah, if Phantasy Star 2 comes out, it kind of does the, a party member dies thing, right? Spoiler alert for a 35-year-old game, but it does a little bit of that too, where it's like, a party member died, how ridiculous or whatever. But he mentions that even in that game, there's nothing quite like Gordon's story, where like an NPC has a full character arc, and that on the Famicom especially, but home consoles in general, this is like the most development you've ever seen for an NPC in any game. And I think it's like really amazing because it's actually pretty well fleshed out. So they were really popping off hard here.
I'm looking forward to Crontendo's episode on Moon Crystal, which I'm assuming hasn't gotten to yet because that is very late NES Famicom era.
He's been doing these for like 15 years, and he's on like episode 64 or something, and he's just at like 1989 or something like that. There's just so much. Because he got like, there are all these like Kusoge bullshit games that come out, and he gives them like a full 15 minutes and full research. It's very slow. So whenever a new episode comes out, I'm like, oh my god, it's been 3 months. I can't wait for the new Crontendo. But anyway, regardless, it's a good watch if you want to get like a context of home video game platforms all at the same time and see what's coming out for them. But yeah, I just wanted to share that because he had some interesting insights about like Gordon's story in particular compared to other RPGs at the time.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Cool.
But yeah,
thank you.
Since we're out of the Coliseum, is that where we should leave it for this week?
Did you notice the parasites in the Coliseum?
Oh my god, yeah, real quick, let's talk about the fucking parasites. I took one note. So I usually do my notes as screenshots now that I'm playing this on Steam Deck, but I took one actual note and it just says parasite. So but yes, Darmock, why do you hate, or I don't want to say why do you hate the parasites. Maybe you don't hate the parasites, but tell me about the parasites.
I forgot what they did.
Well, I'll tell you.
I think it was like the MP or something.
Oh my god, their attacks drain MP.
Oh yeah, that's bad news for me.
And it drains like 30 or 40 MP at once. And so you run into like 5 of them and they all target Furion. And it's just like, I hope you didn't want any white magic whatsoever. Fuck you.
That's what you get for this. Actually sounds like, so again, I like the same with the Yellow Soul. I kind of might like this because it looks like they only use physical attacks. So that seems like a really good way to just farm up MP, because you can game it so that like, the only person who's getting targeted is the person in the front row. So they can take some hits, get all of their stuff drained, get more MP. Nice. I'm actually looking forward to this.
I think the get more MP part is the annoying part.
Well, true, yeah.
Yeah,
we are quite a ways from an inn, and we have exactly one cottage.
Yeah, anyway, hey, you can have an ether and an elixir at this point, which I did use my ether as soon as I got outside of the Coliseum. And much like
you can also practice fleeing here.
Yeah, that's true.
True, yeah. It's a good place to stat raise agility and MP, I guess.
Yeah.
More on that next week, because I'm sure that's what I'll be doing this week.
Leaving the Coliseum for me was very akin to leaving Kashan Keep, where I had like 2 party members dead, not a lot of MP, and I was running into incredibly difficult battles in the desert, and I was just like, what the fuck? If I was playing this
FF2 experience, yeah.
If I was playing this without save states, I don't know that I'd have the fortitude to do it. Because like how many times I'd get to the end of a dungeon and then not be able to get back.
Yeah, that would have to be like I'm a full-time streamer who needs to fill some of the 8 hours in a day that I stream with some bullshit challenge. Like I will do on hardware, no save states, FF2.
Yep.
You heard it here first. Once I get laid off from my job or something and I start full-time streaming, I will do that challenge.
But yeah, I'm fine with ending it there. After this, we just got to go back to actually, you know what? How about one more thing as a nice little cliffhanger for next time. Is that good? Let's do a little cliffhanger.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
If we go back to Altair, which I suppose is what we're doing, right? And go see Gordon and Hilda. Gordon and Hilda are not there. They are no longer in the hideout.
They got better shit to do.
They do in fact have other shit to do. There is a rebel in the front of town who's usually not there. And I was like, ooh, a new NPC. How rare, how nice. And if you talk to him, he says, it's happening now. They're retaking Castle Finn. So whenever you're ready, head up north and get to their base because they've established a new base. We're taking the castle now.
It is finally time. We're taking it back.
Time to take it back.
Do I have time to rest? Is there somebody still at the inn? Do I get to recover? Oh no!
Luckily, there is people still at the inn. I guess they didn't go along.
Oh, I thought we were gonna let that be the cliffhanger.
Oh,
so next week, revenge tour, dude. Let's go.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, ready.
I've also heard that there's a bit of a difficulty spike coming up, so we'll see.
Oh god, I feel like coming up.
Remember that desert?
My god, dude! Every dungeon has been a struggle for me on NES.
What I've been told or whatever is that, at least on the Famicom version, from Finn onward, almost every enemy's normal physical attack also has a stat chance with it. So it's just like Stats City from here on out. So we'll see how
level
it goes.
up your Asuna and strap on your ass-kicking boots because we got to take back Castle Finn next week.
That's right.
We've got this. No problem.
Darmock, thank you so much for hanging out with us. I appreciate it.
Oh, thanks for having me. It was fun.
Where can people find you?
Baltimore, I guess.
Yeah, just go around Baltimore and say, "Hey, are you Darmock?" to anyone you see. And if they say no, say, "Have you heard of the Every FNFF podcast? And could you leave a 5-star review on iTunes?"
That exactly. Where can people find me? I'm just kind of barely starting to stream on Twitch here and there.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, what game have you been streaming recently?
Hades.
Oh shit, really? I was trying to I was throwing it up in the air to be like, "Hey, I heard you're playing a game called Final Fantasy 2?"
I started my very first stream with FF2 and then I realized I am not I have a little bit of ADD.
Of course.
So I can't
RPGs are tough.
Remembering plot and talking to people is difficult.
Starting out streaming and keeping up with chat is really difficult, and doing an RPG is very tough.
Yeah.
So I decided I'm going to do Hades.
Hades is so fucking
on
good.
Stream. And it's so much more fun to talk with people and like just kind of, I don't need to. I'm not speed running.
Yeah.
I'm running, but I'm not speed running.
It's a great game to just kind of, you can just leave off pretty much almost any time.
Yeah.
And
Hades
pick up any time.
I miss playing Hades because I've been doing nothing but playing Zelda, and I've been like, damn, I miss ending my night with like a Hades run or two.
Yeah. I'm hoping I'll do one probably next week because I'm kind of getting ready for a performance this weekend and recording the next day.
Nice.
So if you don't follow me on Twitch, if you do follow me on Twitch, I'm Darmock with a 0, which is kind of weird, but sorry, I don't.
Check the show notes.
Check the show notes. I'm in a band that does video game remixes called Steel Samurai, and we're playing Magstock. It's this weekend, but to the listener, I guess it'll be 1 or 2 weekends in the past. Yeah. So there might be videos, I don't know.
Did I see... Curtis, did we meet Carl for the first time at the same show that I probably first saw Steel Samurai perform?
Correct. I would say yes.
Yeah. Wow.
Was that at
the New Jersey Nerd Jam?
New Jersey
baby.
Nerd Jam.
Hell yeah.
At that old bank building, right?
It was at Flemington DIY in Flemington, New Jersey. Yeah,
it was an old bank. It was really cool.
I remember
that
in the middle room of the bank where we all met each other for the first time. There was a piano.
We all looked at each other. We all held hands in a circle formation. And we said, one day we will all be on a podcast talking about Final Fantasy. Right. This is our curse, and it is inescapable.
That's right. But I also looked at Alex and I said, Alex, get on that piano and play the outro from Closer to 9 Inch Nails. Because I always thought that was incredible that he could do that.
And we're like, hey, keep it down over there. All of us are trying to play the theme song from Beverly Hills 90210, which was the style at the time, because everyone in our friend group was just playing that on guitar.
It's not a hard lick. It's one note at a time.
I mean, you could say that about pretty much anything. Not that hard of a riff.
Yeah,
It's just one note at a time.
That's right.
Don't you
If I-
even, do not fucking talk to me about chords, goddammit.
Yeah, like Van Halen's Eruption, it's just one note after the next. So let's see what's so hard about it.
Why can't you play one note after the
Yeah, it's
next?
just
I don't
easy.
know.
Eddie Van Halen walks up. He's like, "Hey guys, I'm just like you. I play my guitar one note at a time."
But yeah, I think a friend of the pod, Robbie, and I put that show together.
Yeah?
I think I put that one together.
Yeah, you and Robbie were working on it.
Yeah.
Working on booking it, and Robbie kind of reached out. He's like, "Hey, do you know anyone who does like chiptune stuff in Philly?" And I was like, "No, but I know people who know people, and I will reach out." So I reached out to some of the guys from Retro Game Audio, and they were tied up. So they were like, "You should hit up Solar Bear." And I was like, "Who's Solar Bear?" And
That was me.
the rest
Wow.
is history.
Uh-huh. I remember seeing Solar Bear and thinking, oh my God, this person is amazing.
I will never do any
Holy
of that
crap.
again.
Also, isn't Retro Game Audio back on?
It's back. It's
Sort of,
back.
kinda?
Yeah. I think JMR is
Yeah.
a host of it now as well. Friend of the show, JMR.
Yeah. Very cool. But yeah, check out my band Steel Samurai. Also, recently released Dwelling of Duels,
Yeah.
if you have heard of that, is a monthly remix competition of video game music. It has themes every month. And the 2021 compilation album was released recently. I am on 3 tracks. You will only see me credited as being on 1 unless you buy the album.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Buy the album.
So go get it. It's on their Bandcamp.
Bandcamp Friday will probably be coming up at some point, so pick it up then.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's most of the places you can find me nowadays.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. All right.
Hell yeah. Thanks so much again. You're welcome on anytime, as usual.
Oh, thanks. Yeah,
You're
this
only
is a lot
2
of fun.
episodes away from beating
Dethroning Corey. Taking back Castle Finn from Corey.
Just 2, huh?
2, the magic number.
Corey, get back on here. So
Did you say magic or manic?
Alex, would you like to take this chance to slay the podcast?
Oh, I'd be honored to. Thank you all for listening to another episode. Thank you, Night of the Round, for the theme music and outro music. Thank you to Nobu Uematsu for the game music. Thank you to the Gooch for the game. Be sure to leave us a review, rate us, and subscribe to us wherever you're listening to us. You can contact us at FFII Materia and find us at FNFF on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and hop into our Discord. And Hilda's been acting very strange lately. I try to speak to her, and all she does is podcast.
True monster.
All right. See y'all later.
Toodles.
Bye.